Okay. Behind the scenes.
All this stuff's in my way now. I can't even see you people.
The video, I know. You know what? We have to work with what we have.
Yeah.
Brandon.
So we're gonna hit the record button.
Is this too? We're good.
We're good.
This is like right in my.
I know. Line of sight.
We're not setting up the guests for success here. I'm feeling.
Yeah, I wanted it this way so I could
Can we?
go kind of underneath.
Fancy.
You want to do that?
You could do that.
I'm afraid to touch it, so.
You can touch
I'll do it.
It breaks. Bill's gonna. And it's recorded, so
Yeah.
we'll know that I broke it.
I stopped the recording on that end. Okay. So
This is called a boom. If you're in the business,
Good to know. Good to know.
this is all sorts of. I feel very like I hear a little in my voice now. Do you hear that?
Oh, yeah, for sure.
That's what we really sound like.
Very, it's very sensitive. Yeah.
something like that. Is that better for you?
I think so.
Is that setting you up for more success?
I think so. I can see you now.
Okay.
So this is all.
Do you do your morning calls on this thing every day?
No, this would be amazing, though.
You should.
We should.
Yeah, you can hook it up to your phone so that it's on Bluetooth, and you can just take calls through this.
We're going to start having callers.
Yeah.
Caller number 1.
We're gonna broadcast
You're
all
on.
of our.
Mm-hmm.
Joy from Nantucket.
Exactly.
You're on the Kelly Davies show.
Exactly. Joy from
She's like wrong number.
Okay.
I was trying to call Discover Card. Yeah, Kelly.
All right.
Hello.
We're good?
Yeah.
Okay.
We're ready to have.
We have the man, the myth, the legend, the
Yeah.
one and only Brandon Landro here with us today.
In the know in the 920.
This is our intro music, Brandon. It's very serious.
Are you just allowed to talk over your intro music?
Good.
Yeah.
I can do whatever I want. Boom.
Boom.
Brandon,
Kelly.
thanks for joining us.
I don't think I was given a choice.
No, I kind of signed you up for this last week. And then afterwards, I called you and I was like, hey, what do you got going on next Wednesday?
Yeah.
I kind of committed you to the podcast. Thank you, though, for taking your time. I know you have a couple things going on right now.
Yeah.
A few here and there.
Just a couple
all right.
things you're dabbling in. All right, well, we're going to ask you, we want to know all about everything from the beginning. You were born, no, I'm just
Yep.
kidding, but all about your career. We want to know everything. So let's start from the beginning. How, for those of you, in case you're not sure, by the way, Brandon
Yeah, we should
Landro
introduce him.
of Landro Realty is the owner, and he's the guy, owner, broker, the whole thing. And he's been doing this you've owned Landro Realty for
18 years.
18 years. It's a long time.
January of this year, or January of 2024 makes 18 years.
That's amazing.
Wow.
It just, yeah.
And you're
It is
crazy.
amazing because you just feel old.
Yeah,
I don't-
that's kind
I
of
don't feel old enough to have done anything
Right.
for 18 years.
100%
And yet, here we are.
run a business for that long. All right, well, how did you get started, sir?
College dropout.
Nothing
So
wrong with that.
Wasn't the plan.
Same.
There you go.
You're amongst friends.
I just feel instantly better about
For
myself.
the record, I graduated, thank you.
Well done. How are you putting that degree to use right now?
so well.
More important, is it paid off though?
No.
Okay. So that was, I graduated high school and like everybody, I had no plan. So I went to college at UW Fox, which is now just part of the UWO system, and did 2 years there. And it is only a 2-year school. So it was what's next after that. And my vision was to get into hospitality management. So I wanted to go and run hotels, and more specifically, I wanted to get into casinos.
I can see you doing that.
Yeah. Steve Wynn. I don't know if I bet Nick knows that name.
Yes,
I've heard
yes,
of him.
yes.
Yes. So Wynn Hotels. And he started
Yeah.
the Mirage and the Bellagio and all those cool hotels. So I applied to go to a couple different schools, and I got accepted to go to UNLV in Vegas, which was It's either the number 1 or number 2 hospitality school in the country. I don't know.
Not that he's bragging at all.
It's a nice little public university, but they're right by all the casinos, so they know how to run.
That's cool.
And we flew out there. My parents were good enough to throw me in a plane, and we went out there. We shopped for some condos and bought a place. I toured the
Holy
campus.
cow.
I
I don't know if I knew that you got that serious
I had
about
never
it.
heard this.
I
Yeah.
did not know that we bought a condo in Vegas.
I did not know that.
I
Wow.
stuck my parents with a condo.
Wow, that is so nice.
It was. He was.
Aw.
My parents were awesome, and they were like, "All right, we got this much money to help you get through school, and we're going to buy a condo so you have a place to live, and you're going to have a roommate so that it's not that expensive for us." And toured the campus, met some professors. Everything was amazing, and we came back here. I had a class schedule, and I don't know, 4 or 6 weeks before I was supposed to get in a plane and actually go to Vegas. I just kind of started panicking about. What the heck was I, 19 or 20 years old? And I was like, if I go to Vegas, I think I'm probably going to get myself in a little too much trouble.
Okay.
And I wasn't ready to move away. I just wasn't there.
You just had that nagging feeling.
So I went to Dad and said, "Hey,
You know that condo that you bought?
thanks for picking up that little place in Vegas for me. I don't think I want to go to school there anymore." And he said, "Okay, so what do you want to do since school starts everywhere in like a month, and it's a little late to go register for classes or get accepted or anything elsewhere?" And I said, "Well, Mom sells real estate, and she seems to do pretty good. So maybe I'll get my real estate license." And I will sell real estate for a little bit, and then I'll be able to help pay for school, and I will just go back in the winter semester. And he liked the idea of me actually helping out, paying for my own way. So that was the plan. I got licensed, and I went and I worked where Mom worked and sold a couple houses and made a couple dollars, but I liked it. So I said, maybe if I do this for a full year instead of just like 3.5 months, I'll make a decent amount of money that we can save. I was still living at home, and then I'll be able to just pay for school for myself.
Yeah.
And Dad said I like that idea even better. So that was the plan, and after, I don't know, the school year kind of finished out, and with me not being there, and I was actually making some money and didn't want to go back to school. So
There you go.
continued working where I was for a while, but was not crazy about the place that we worked. Or, to be honest, like some of the ways that I felt like they were treating some of the agents and my mom in particular. So I went to her and I said, "Hey, I think we should leave and start our own company." And she said, "That's a dumb idea." She was right, but I didn't want to hear it. So I went to Dad and said, "Hey, Dad,
I love it.
we should start our own real estate company." And he said, "Well, your mom's always wanted to start a business. I've never gotten on board with it. But if this is something that you really want to do, we could take what's left of your college fund." And
That's
and
nice.
that's what we've got to go with. So at about 1.5 years into the business, crazy enough, back then, if you wanted to get your real estate license, it takes 2 weeks. It was in-person classes. But I think you probably could do online, but nobody did that long ago.
Did they had computers then?
Yeah, they didn't have screens. It was just a keyboard.
They're still building them.
You're still. So you could immediately take another week-long class and get your broker's license, having never sold a piece of real estate, which I didn't
Right.
do. I went and I sold a little bit, and then got my broker's license, and I went in and resigned from the place I was, drove across town, walked into the RANW's board office and said, "Hi, I'm Brandon. You probably don't know me or haven't met me, and I want to start a real estate brokerage. So, like, here's my
How do I do that?"
$36 or whatever it was."
Oh my gosh, I love it.
I'm sure they got a kick out of that when I left and thought, "What?
They're like,
Is this what you're
"Oh,
doing?"
that's precious."
That was adorable.
Yeah.
A couple months later, my mom and girlfriend at the time, wife now, Jenny, also resigned and came and started working with me, and that's what we did. We worked out of Mom's basement for a while. We graduated into a garage, so that was, we got above ground. So
Yeah.
we laid some indoor-outdoor carpet in a builder's parade home
my
garage
gosh.
and put some desks. I remember going to Sam's Club, buying them, and like building my own desks and stuff. Like, it was.
I love it.
It was bootstrapping.
That's amazing.
And we sat around for a while waiting for the right place to go, and we looked at a bunch of different places, and we thought, well, Kaukauna has 15,000 residents. They got one real estate office, and Appleton's got like 70,000, and they've got like 15 or 20 offices. So I'm like, well, it seems like Kaukauna underserved. Let's go open an office there. And we got into a little strip mall location with 1,500 feet of space, and it was huge and expensive. And we were there for 11 years. But,
That's where I met you.
that is, I remember you coming in and interviewing. And
And I think that sign was still up until like 2 years ago or something.
Yeah, they left it there for a long
everybody who
time.
came into that building didn't care. They
Yeah.
used our space as just additional office space, and now it's a T-Mobile. So
good.
they've improved since we got out of there.
Oh my gosh, that place was just great. I just loved it.
Podcast sponsored by T-Mobile.
Just love. Shout out to T-Mobile.
We're gonna get some contracts. We will give you $10 never to say T-Mobile again in the podcast.
Oh my gosh, yeah, I just loved the laundromat being next door. I always
was
thought
great.
It was handy, you know.
And-
Not that I ever used it, but it
Well,
could
before
have
the
been.
laundry, it was a payday loan store.
Oh, nice.
So you could go right next door to get your earnest
If your
money.
real estate career was not going so good, just shoot next door.
In all seriousness, we actually, like 2 years ago, we did have a client get a payday loan for their earnest money.
That's not a good sign.
And it's
No.
screwed up their whole transaction.
Don't do that.
Yeah, don't do that.
We don't
please.
recommend that.
Well, there's like, I'm going to need you to source that, and like I'm paying 38% interest on my earnest money.
Oh my gosh, that's not good. Save up beforehand, people.
Yeah.
Okay, so you were in. There's like a weird fly. It's probably coming from the grass. You were in the Kaukauna space, and when did you start getting other agents on board besides Mom and Jenny? Shout out to Jenny and Mom.
Hey, Mom. Really, almost from square one, we had George Burton Porgy was our first agent who came on. He's still with us to this day, but we were only in a couple of months, and he came on. But we were never really making a push to do a bunch of recruiting and hiring. It was like that was our business. It was for us
Sure.
to run, and and it just all really grew organically. It was people that knew us or people that we met through real estate who just wanted to, were ready for a different brokerage home or whatever, and came and kind of paired up with us. So there was never any efforts to bring in a bunch of people. And I know that if you actually know anything about running a real estate brokerage, that's a bad model. Is to stay really small and have all the overhead of a brokerage for a handful of people. But what did I know? I started this
Well, right.
when I was
You were learning.
22.
Yeah.
So
So you had probably for a long time, what? I would say, how many agents do you think you had, roughly?
7, 8.
Yeah.
That's about it. Other
Right.
than the three of us.
Right.
That was when we were big. Is when we might have had.
Right.
We needed 2 tables when we went to lunch instead of one.
That's when you know
We
you're
made it.
getting up there.
That's when we made it.
So then what led you guys to purchase the space that we're in now, which, by the way, is beautiful space in Kimberly. Gorgeous space. Shout out to Jenny again. What led you to that from where you were? Because at that point, if I recall, that I was there, obviously, you still didn't have that many agents, right?
No, we really
Yeah.
didn't. When we made the transition, it was just we were paying rent in a space, and
Yeah.
kind of we owned a home at that point. Jenny and I did. We didn't have any investment properties. I think when we bought this building, we didn't have any. But
I don't think you did either,
I had
yeah.
looked back and I was like, we paid $250,000 in rent over those years, which you do the math over 10 or 11 years, it really wasn't that expensive of rent. But at the same time, I added it up and I was like,
When you add that
that's
up, though,
stupid
that
I paid
sucks.
that much rent and I still don't have, I walk out of this place, we paid $40,000 to build it out ourselves. And then we walk away from it and we literally have nothing.
Nothing.
There's your bug, Kelly.
I know.
So we're like, we need to find a place that we can go and at least have a home and maybe acquire an asset and have room to expand. So that little 1,500 square feet wasn't really working out so hot anymore. And looked around for a while and finally found this building in Kimberly that had been sitting. I've been told different amounts of time, but somebody said it was like 9 years it was sitting
Wow.
vacant. So it was just a rundown old pole building on a parking lot. And we thought, that's just what we need. It's a rundown old pole building.
It's perfect. This is perfect.
Yeah. We were able to buy it pretty cheap. And then we had Griffin Builders who built our home, and they're really well known in the valley here. Like, they're the best. They're awesome.
Yeah.
And he doesn't do a lot of commercial stuff, but I asked him after he had built our home, we had a good relationship, and I said, hey, I want to buy this building. Would you be willing to help me build it out? And he's kind of like, I don't really love doing that stuff, but it's you, and because we were going to take it down to nothing but a shell, and we're basically building new, like, yeah, he agreed to do it. So we did about 2/3 of this building, like 4,000 feet, which coming out of 1,500, it's like, can you imagine moving from a house of 1,500 square feet and now you're in a 4,000 square
That's
foot
crazy.
house? It feels like, oh my gosh.
I know.
We'll never fill the space. We'll never need it all.
Yeah.
And then kind of growth took off. People love the space. I think we had a better location here than we did in Kaukauna. I'm born and raised in Kaukauna. Nothing against Kaukauna, but we're closer to the highway here, which is handy. We're only a mile from Kelly's house, which that was really the most important.
Very, very handy. Now, okay, so what do you think was the catalyst, big word there, for, the growth, though? I mean, do you think that the building itself, did you start kind of like advertising that and people were like, ooh, that's pretty, I want to go work there? Or what do you think happened?
No, I mean, it didn't happen in that order. It was fortunate that we had the building. It's like Field of Dreams. If we built it,
They will come. And they did.
we didn't. I got in. I think the biggest catalyst for us for growth was me finally getting off my island and going out and finding some help and some coaching.
Sure.
And working with. It's amazing. Like, I didn't know that it was a thing that you could hire a real estate coach. And at some point, I watched enough YouTube or whatever and found out that that's a thing and started looking into it. And we hired a coach while we were still in that Kaukauna location, but I think we were already under contract to buy this one when I hired that second real estate coach. And it was it's hiring for people who are thinking coaching and sports. Like, it's the same thing. You're hiring somebody who's been there before, who knows more about it than you, who will look at your business objectively and call you on your garbage and tell you to fix stuff when they don't like it.
Hold you accountable?
Yep. So I got somebody who did that for me, and we actually started like advertising and saying, instead of just waiting for agents to come and find us, we actually started like placing ads and telling people like we're looking to hire and we want to expand our footprint, and coming up with a business model that we thought made a lot of sense. For agents, we did a huge amount of lead generation, and to the point where like we couldn't keep up with it anymore. One of my business coaches just said, like, dummy, you're buying way more than you need, so you got to do one of two things. You either stop advertising so much so you don't have so much coming in, or you hire other people and teach them to do what you did. And I thought, well, it's working, so let's try hiring other people and try to teach them how to do what we did instead of going backwards. And it just kept snowballing from there. And I don't know, when we moved into this building, maybe we had 12 or 15 agents.
There wasn't a lot.
And now, working out of this building, there's like 50.
Yeah.
And then
you have a Milwaukee office.
we ended up with a little satellite office down in Milwaukee. We started out in the 3rd Ward, which was cool.
It was a really cool location.
It's very cool.
And that's what we had a bunch of really young agents down there. And they're like, this is the place to be, and we want to hang out down here.
Yeah.
And I said, all right, we'll sign a lease, but I did a 5-year lease, but it was 5 consecutive 1-year options for me, because I just didn't feel.
That's a good idea.
And the landlord agreed to it, and after 1 year of being down there, and one winter of parking 3 blocks or 8 blocks away and walking through the snow and howling.
That's the tough part about the city.
Yeah, and then the agent's like, this sucks. We need to be somewhere that we can park outside the building.
Right.
Yeah.
So we got out of that lease after a year, went out to Brookfield, out in the burbs, into an office park, and found a better home out there. So yeah, now we have more than a dozen agents in Milwaukee.
Very nice. Didn't you say next year we're expanding to Hawaii? Wasn't that?
I've been accused just recently of moving to Florida, so that was new to me.
There's a lot of talk out there. Isn't it amazing?
Yeah.
Isn't it amazing?
I just heard about that yesterday.
Yeah. So funny.
Landros are moving to Florida. You heard it here first.
Never a day in my life have I been interested in moving to Florida.
And that's exactly what I said to you. I said, well, now whoever started this doesn't know you very well because you'd be moving to Arizona.
Right.
I do think that if I ended up somewhere else, but I've got a 16-year-old son. He's a fresh or sophomore in high school.
Yeah.
So I'm not going anywhere.
You can't go anywhere right now.
No, we are happy and we're stuck, but also happy to be stuck.
And you also have a lot going on here.
A couple things.
So let's talk present day now. So you started it in the bottom, literally in the basement,
In the basement.
got to the garage,
Moved it up.
got to the strip mall in Kaukauna.
Laundromat adjacent.
Yes. I just remember it had a soda machine, which was handy,
Do you remember?
I got a
when
little thirsty.
Were you there the day we came outside and somebody was air drying their
Yes.
paws on the hood of the car?
Yes. It was classy.
There was always a random sock
Wow.
or
For sure.
underwear. in
All the
parking lot.
time. All the time. It was great. And now we're here.
Yeah.
Awesome building, which you own. And then one more thing, you also built out our side.
Yes, so we did that. Again, moving into this building, it had like a 6,000 square foot footprint, and we built out 2/3 of it because we already thought that was a huge increase. And then what we did not have is a meeting room. Like we had a conference room or an offer room or whatever you want to call it here that maybe comfortably seats 10 people. And we were starting to do meetings where we were cramming like 18 people into that room, and people were sitting on rolling chairs halfway out the door. And so we thought we gotta expand. We need to add this meeting space that'll accommodate a lot more people. And then we thought we'll build out this front little suite here, and I'll lease it out to some insurance agent or some Edward Jones or whatever. So we built a couple offices, and then Kelly stumbles into Stacy's office and sees the floor plan and said, "What's that?"
What's this you speak of?
Yeah.
We're gonna build this little office suite over here and rent it out. And she said, "I want it." I said, all right, well.
And you know what? It actually popped up in my Facebook memories, like 4 years ago today, something like that. It was March. It was the middle of March, several years ago, when we entered this space.
I feel like,
I would have guessed 3, but who knows?
yeah, I don't think it was 2020.
Oh, maybe it was 3,
I
okay.
don't think you moved during COVID. I
No,
think
you're right.
that
It was
the
3.
year After.
I just know that
2021
prior
also
to
COVID.
prior
2020
to-
also COVID.
we that Halloween party will always go down in history. We had an amazing Halloween party in this space when it was still raw space.
I spent so long decorating for that.
I made him decorate. It was pretty great.
So you know Kelly's priorities. So, like, I'm taking my staff, and they're not doing real estate right now. They're decorating for
We're
that.
decorating for our Halloween
Give her a
party.
chance to throw an event.
Oh my
and she was
gosh.
just
I'll
like-
do it.
Yeah.
I'll do it. All right. So you're here. What are you doing now? What's going on?
Well, this building is as full can be.
Mm-hmm.
Built out this great big meeting room to accommodate like 30 people, and now that's not enough. And we had a parking lot that I usually see Kelly parked.
I have to park
on the
like
lawn or
yeah.
in a
Pretty soon I'm just
tree.
gonna stay at home and walk.
You come to the office, but you walk further if you just walk.
Exactly.
Gonna participate in bike to work day.
Yes. Yes, I'm gonna come in on my bike. Jenny always wanted me to do
Get a
that.
scooter out of your, like one of those fold-out scooters in your trunk so you can scooter the rest of the way.
For real.
I'd get a bird. Yeah, that'd be cool.
Get a bird.
Like,
Get a bird.
yeah, I'm just gonna have a giant eagle fly me in like Lord of the Rings.
Oh my gosh.
So yeah, we're planning on doing an addition to this building that'll take us from 6 to like 10,000 feet.
That's amazing.
Give us another giant conference room that we don't have any choice but to not outgrow it, because then we'll just be like on the highway at that point. Can't go any further back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it'll give us it'll double our parking, which will be great. It's like real estate offices are funny because you go in some days and there's like, the 3 of us, and then other days
Yeah.
you're like,
Right.
every single person and all of their guests are here at the same
Correct.
time. So we have to kind of have space to accommodate those days.
Yeah.
Though some days are not even close to that. And then we have a couple years ago, we started a partnership with a insurance agent. So we have Local Modern Insurance, which has been awesome for us. Erica Lemhouse, who runs that for us, is kind of like got the same number of years of experience as me. I like to say, like, she knows as much about insurance as I know about real estate, and probably more. So she does all the home, the auto, all that stuff. But
Yeah, she's been great.
Nobody wants to screw around. Like, nobody ever wants to talk about insurance. It's really boring, and I make fun of her for that. Like, people love talking about houses, but
That's true.
nobody wants to talk about insurance. But we kind of put them, when we sell their house and put them in a new one, we put them in a spot where, like, okay, I have to talk about insurance, and I don't really want to deal with it.
Right.
So she's like, I will do that for you. I will shop the insurance. I'll put together all the stuff for you. I'll just kind of do the work. And if people want to use her, great. And if they don't, great. So we'll have a spot for them. And then
Local Modern Insurance, right?
Yep.
Okay.
LMI, and then we have LMT, Local Modern Title. 'Cause I'm good at naming things, but only once. And then I just, like, what's a similar name that we can use? I couldn't.
We're going to keep a lot of L's.
Yeah.
So Local Modern Title.
Yeah,
Tell us
so
about
we
that.
This is funny because people have been asking, like, why did we wait so long to start a title company? And I was like, I don't know, because I just felt like I didn't need anything else complicating my life.
Right.
And
Yeah.
I was like, no, I really do need something
Yeah.
else in my life.
Get a little bored.
So hired an amazing closer, Sydney Waters, and she's running that thing for us.
Go, Sydney.
Yeah, that was the thing.
She is amazing.
We could've started like 6 months earlier. We had everything in place other than the one person to run it, and I just said, as many people as we interviewed, I kept saying no, and I had people who were getting frustrated with me saying no to everybody. I'm like, I would rather wait to start with the person that I'm excited about than start with the wrong person and have to replace them or have to add on. And so when we were able to get her to come on board, that was just like, all right, everybody. It wasn't my choice. It was like all the agents in the office were like, she's amazing.
She is.
We love it when we're working with
Yeah.
her. So
And that's so important because it's the final, part of the experience, right, for clients, and they have to talk to her along the way, and they want to know that somebody knows what they're doing, knows their stuff, and she knows her stuff very well.
And that's the big thing too with it being like the last person, because
Right.
buying a house, it is a little bit of a journey. You're talking to lenders, you're talking to real estate agents, you're talking to insurance and whoever else along the way, and then it's like this final person. It's like, oh, are you giving me one more thing?
Yeah.
So yeah,
Yeah,
having
she's
that person
great.
make things smooth just closes it well.
So Local Modern Title for all your title needs.
it's such an exciting business too.
We can talk about title insurance in the next episode.
That'll be really well watched.
It's riveting.
So when we do this addition to the building, we'll have a place for them as well. Our agents are excited about that because to be able to do the closings right here in the office, which they're already doing. They're just using our conference room, and
Sure.
but we're going to give them proper space as well. So we have that going on. In December, we started a concrete coatings business with a couple people because I know so much about the coatings
I was
industry.
just going to say, tell us about your other businesses now, too.
The concrete coatings thing, it was my friend Rob was at a trade show and running a booth and was bored because nobody was coming to talk to them about their financing tool at the booth. So he's wandering around and came across this this floor coatings company called Pentec, which is up in Minnesota in the Twin Cities, and they produce this polyurea floor coating product it's different. It looks very similar to epoxy, but it just performs differently. And that kind of got him excited about the idea, and he came to me and said, would you ever want to do that? And I said, sure, we like starting stuff. And the home improvement industry seems like an interesting place to be. So we talked about it. We got somebody else involved, a guy named Brian Gottlieb, who was formerly of Tundraland, started that. And so he's a friend of Rob's. Rob helped him sell Tundraland and some other businesses, and he said, hey, I'd be interested in being around that or participating. And we thought, well, Brian's a genius in that space, so yeah, we'll bring him into this. And all of a sudden, we ended
Here
up
you are.
with a whole bunch of people and doing jobs, and already have a second location in Boise, Idaho.
What?
Yeah, I knew you didn't know that.
What?
You're like, yeah, so Boise's open. If you need, for all of you listening in Boise, we're here to serve all your floor coating needs. And Kelly will get licensed in Idaho if you would like to buy a house.
Absolutely, I would love that. Now, Can you please tell us the name of the company?
BAM Coatings.
But I would like,
Yeah.
can we say it as BAM?
BAM.
Because that's what the sign represents. And now
Yes.
I wish we had one here.
Superhero.
The superhero
Yeah.
on the sign is 100%
Oh, it is not.
you.
So
It is 100% representation of Brandon Landro.
my confusion was, why doesn't the name start with an L?
Yeah. All your other companies.
We didn't, I didn't, the marketing geniuses came
Okay.
up with the whole strategy behind
I like
this one.
BAM.
BAM.
I just really like
exciting.
it. Yes, it is.
Very much.
And you got your floor done, right? Your garage?
did.
And how do you like it?
It looks,
Because you're going to tell me it's terrible.
it looks,
It's the worst thing ever.
Yeah, I'll probably wait like 2 years and redo it. I don't know.
no, it looks amazing.
Yeah.
Jenny insisted on waiting for me to help pick out the color, which I'm like, why? Since when do I get a say in?
I was going to say, this is a first.
I think it's going to be different anyways.
We love you, Jenny, but we know how this goes.
Yeah. So I just laid them out. I literally laid them on the garage floor and left. And I'm like, just pick one of these because Tina needs to make the order. She needs to get our product in. Mm-hmm. And then I was like, this has got to be an immediate thing. We're way overdue. And she's like, nah, I'm going to pick them up. I'm going to take them to the office. I'm going to lay them out there. We're going to talk about it.
Just gonna think about it for a little bit.
And
It's
no,
a
but
true Jenny process. Yeah.
Yeah.
But when we got the floor done, I was really happy with it. I did a little time lapse video with the iPad, and it
Oh, that's cool.
didn't turn out at all.
Oh, that's not
It was
cool.
like 16 hours worth of recording, and that condensed it down to like 40, 25 seconds. And I
Yeah.
was like, well, that's a really fast.
That's a little too much.
Didn't
Yeah.
really work. So I tried. That's not really my game, but that business has been going well. Mostly we just have an amazing group of people that we kind of assembled with a lot of different backgrounds from the home improvement space, from attorneys, people who have built really, really impressive businesses and know how to scale things. So it's just kind of fun to be along
Yeah,
for the ride.
that's really
on
cool.
That one.
So it's like basement floors, right?
If it's
garage
concrete,
floors.
we can
If it's concrete, they can do it.
got a concrete table. I'll coat that too.
And this part is sponsored by Culver's Concrete Mixer.
And bam.
Bam.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so that is super cool. Any other little business ventures?
Yeah, we have. I don't know. We have like 15 or 17 rental properties around. We've got 3 of them down in Scottsdale. So those were the most fun. Yeah, the other ones are just kind of standard houses,
Yeah.
rentals. But the one in Scottsdale, we started out just going down there on somebody else's idea of a spring break. We went there and I was like, this is my happy place. I love it.
That's the happy place.
It's not Florida. Sorry, Florida.
Yeah.
You like the
there's-
dry,
Podcast not sponsored by Florida.
you like the
Yeah.
dry climate.
Well, there's
Yes.
no alligators.
They got some snakes.
They do.
Yeah.
And we've seen pictures of one in your pool.
Yes. Mm-hmm. Just pulled that video.
So everyone, go check out their
go check out our vacation
go check out
rentals.
their Airbnb. It's great.
Say hello to our
But
6-foot black or what's it, diamondback rattlesnake
something like that, yeah.
Oh my gosh.
was
No, you've got like
terrifying.
there's like a mini golf course or something?
in the
or-
backyard.
Yeah. You guys again, shout out to Jenny. It's amazing.
Yeah.
Jenny knows how to design stuff.
But do you have good occupancy?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. This is the time of year where they're super busy. It's spring. and
Am I allowed to say that you've had famous people stay there? I don't know if that was.
There's a famous person staying in one of them right now. Because there's spring
That's so
training
cool.
for baseballs
Yeah.
down
Yeah.
there. So
Because I know that Mookie Betts was with you guys like 2 years ago.
2 years ago and last year.
That's amazing.
But they had he was going to stay again and just make it like a permanent spot. But he had a
Heck yeah.
45-minute drive in each direction from the house to where they do spring training, where
Yeah.
the Dodgers do. So they finally said no to the property manager, get us something closer because he's already at the park a lot. So another
Yeah.
hour and a half every day in the car. It's not ideal.
Did you charge him like $1,000 for the month?
Yeah.
He had a coupon.
Yeah, he had a coupon from Culver's, but I took it. Competitor's coupon.
For the folks that don't know who Mookie Betts is, he's a multi-time World Series champion. He's former MVP in Major League Baseball. Like, pretty darn awesome guy. I think his current contract is like 12 years for like $300 million.
He's got a couple dollars.
Yeah.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
But it feels like, to me, those investment properties kind of really leveraged things for you guys, right? I think that they're pretty smart.
Yeah,
Like they're smart investments, and that's when, you were able to start doing more and more stuff, right?
Yeah, we bought the first house in Scottsdale at a really good time. I don't know, this was April Fool's Day, like 3 years ago. So we're coming up on 3 years on that thing already, which is kind of wild. But yeah, property, had we done nothing to it and just stared at it for 3 months, it would have gone up 30% in value. It was
That's
just
crazy.
properties went nuts down there. So we were able to do some really nice improvements to that. And then we went and bought a second one down there. It went well. So now we just, in late December last year, we bought a third one. Now closer to Old Town, so where the bachelorette parties want to go and party it up. Got a little 5-bedroom place, and my dad and uncles and I are going down there. So we'll have our own little bachelor
That's awesome.
party for golf.
Oh boy, that's gonna be a wild time. I can
gonna be
feel
lit.
it. Yeah, that's amazing. All right, so
That's a bussin'
all the little Toryisms on here. She just loved that. All right, well, that's super, super, super cool. So you have a couple things going on. I want to know now, well, first of all, tell us, I guess maybe where, like, our real estate business is. It's not ours. I don't own it. You do. Right now, like today.
Where's the real estate business right now today? So we're in the process. We started this in November. Really, I started the conversations with this company in November, called LPT Realty. They're out of Florida, based out of Florida.
LPT,
shout out to LPT.
LMT, LMI, LPT.
It's gonna get confusing.
I love it.
So yeah, that was just a random little similarity in the names there, but started talking to this company, which doesn't exist in Wisconsin right now. They're in like 25 different states. They're only 2 years old, but they've been growing incredibly quickly. They just had their, what they call their Grand Prix, which is their national conference for their agents. Second one, they had announced they're up to 9,700 agents in 2
Wow.
years. So every company that's ever existed says they're the fastest growing ever for some. You can always spin the numbers some
Yeah.
way, but either way,
Just like I'm
Between
the best.
March 18th and
Yeah.
April 7th.
I'm the best real estate agent in all of the land, according to my mom.
yep.
Well, actually, no,
Only
wait.
your mother surveyed.
Wait, we have the same.
According to your mom,
we
you're
have
the
the
second.
same. I was
You're the
gonna say,
second.
we have the same mom, and he's the golden child, so he's the best agent. I'm second.
You can't even win that one.
Okay, so LPT.
LPT. So we are in the process of bringing them into the state of Wisconsin. In order to expedite that process, I volunteered so kindly to be their broker for the state. So we've just joined. We got our approval last Thursday, so 6 days ago now, from the state of Wisconsin, so that we could set up the brokerage, and then started the process of joining the different MLSs and whatnot. And so right now, I'm not even sure if I'm not even the broker of this company right now. It's Stacy.
Huh, yeah.
Yeah.
Right, because you're
I fired myself from my own company.
Wow.
you're the broker of LPT.
I am the broker of LPT.
Okay.
I am 100% of LPT in the state of Wisconsin. I'm the only agent in the whole state.
Wow.
These days, I don't even know where I am, who I work for, what's happening. We'll figure it all out.
It's super exciting to be
It
able
is
to
exciting.
partner with a company that we were always looking for somebody who didn't want to take over our identity, who didn't want to change what Landro has grown into. Mm-hmm. And when I talked to Lewis, their VP of recruiting people is, I don't know, that's what I call him because that's what he does.
Yeah.
But talking to Lewis many times, man, I wore this guy out with questions and just.
Well, you
long
research
meetings.
things, which is good.
Oh yeah, I have if you'd like to see my 19 spreadsheets, I can show them to you.
You weigh out all the options.
I actually would like to see the spreadsheets.
You should see one of the formulas I wrote. It was,
Oh my gosh.
I had to share it with Rob. I was so excited about it.
Wow.
Rob, look what this one does.
I love
If
a good
anybody needs
formula.
a good Excel formula, just let us know.
Nick and I got you. We're going to be busy.
That's one of my favorite classes in
Oh
school.
my
is the
gosh.
Excel class.
Oh yeah, Mason just had that last year. He hated the Microsoft.
Oh,
class
everybody
because-
hated it.
But I was like, no, this is great.
You're like, this is the best thing ever.
It's the only class I've ever enjoyed tutoring my kid. Is like,
Oh
let's
my
make
gosh.
spreadsheets.
It's the only class in high school that's preparing you for the real world.
That's kind of a good point. Because you actually use them. Yeah.
Yeah.
Unlike like the parallelograms or, whatever else.
Parallelogram season is right around the corner.
It sure is right after tax season.
So we, we're really excited. We're bringing the entire office over.
So we're still Landro.
Yep,
Landro LPT.
that's it. Bringing the entire office over. We have all sorts of new marketing tools at our disposal. They've been sending us. Kelly's already been
Which is
using
super cool. The marketing is awesome.
Yeah.
It really is.
And they're giving me an infrastructure in the background that I think we could have built if you just give me another 20 years, and then I'll just keep doing what I'm doing. And so we grew an incredible business here in 18 years to the number of agents that we have. There's 300 plus brokerages in our offices in our MLS. We rank like number 5 or 6.
Which is amazing.
Everyone who does more production than us has 30, 50 more agents in their office than we do. So we rock it over here. We do really well. And that was a big, I'm not sure if I want to throw this away. And what I really had to get around to is we're not removing anything here. We're adding to what we've already got. So what they used to like to tell me is that we are the period at the end of your brand. We are not replacing your brand. We are adding to it. We're giving you all these tools and resources for you guys to use, giving you a national platform to work off of and build off of, and hopefully we can grow even more quickly than we have over the past several years, which has already been just a crazy ride. I remember for a couple years we were kind of hovering around that like number 14, 15 rank office, and I thought, man, this is incredible. I never thought we would get to that point. And then the last 2 years, last year where everybody else in our market was down 20%, we were up 12%. So I'm like, that's a huge swing.
That's awesome.
When everybody else is kind of, and I thought, man, if we were down 20%, I don't know, I'd be at Culver's applying.
I would be so thrilled if I went through the drive-through there and you handed me my
And I was like, would you like ketchup and salt?
my little lunch. Oh my
Why
gosh.
do you even ask? Of course I want the ketchup.
What kind of numbers did we finish the year last year?
As a brokerage, we were just shy of 900 transactions.
That's amazing.
Last year was the first time we did over $250 million in sales, so it was $255 million in sales.
Wow.
Yeah.
So that was a big up
That's
for
huge.
us. We had a really rockin' Christmas party because of it.
We did. We did have a nice Christmas party. Thank you to the Brandon and Jenny, the Landros, for that.
Yeah, we had a band. It was great.
It was amazing.
Caricature artist. Did you get your picture
Yeah,
drawn?
caricature
I sure
artist.
did. It's hung,
did.
It's hung with
Yes.
pride in a room that my girlfriend never goes in, so she doesn't have to look at.
It was great. It was great. All right, so with our remaining time here, Brandon, what is your biggest learning lesson, do you think, along the way? What's the first thing that comes to your mind?
Hiring other people is unquestionable. Like, I sat around for too long trying to figure it all out on my own, and when I actually started hiring coaches and basically getting myself into the room with people who were smarter than me or people who had just done the things that I wanted to do, if I put myself in those rooms, all of a sudden you make connections, you get opportunity. It's amazing how much people are willing to share with you if you just ask, if you're humble enough to say, I don't know and I need help. I remember years ago when the market was just awful, 2008, and I wanted to learn how to get into these. I looked around and I'm like, who's selling houses? Because everybody else is going broke. And there were really 3 agents in our market that had all the listings, and they were all agents who did REO, or which stands for real estate owned. It was foreclosures. And I was like, well, shoot, then I better start figuring out how to sell foreclosures. But I can't exactly call the guy in my market who's doing
Right.
all that business. And
Because I would be like, oh, hey,
wait, can you introduce me to the people who give you
I'll
the
share with you.
So I actually searched his website and I looked at all the little things that he said he was affiliated with.
That's so smart.
And then I went to all those websites and I started calling people on those websites, real estate agents, and just calling people in other markets and saying, hey, my name is Brandon. You don't know me. You don't owe me anything. But if this is what I'm interested in doing, I see that you're having success with this. If you would help me at all, like, I'd greatly appreciate it. Most of the time just leaving messages for people. And one lady in Portland, Oregon called me back and she just said, I just thought it was really cool that you reached out and were willing to be humble enough to ask for help. So this is what I would suggest that you do. Do A, B, and C. it's going to be really hard. You're not going to make any money for a while, but at some point you'll get noticed. And when you do get noticed, do a great job. The first listing I ever got in the REO world was $19,000. That was a house. That was not a lot.
I bet you that was a nice one.
Swell.
But you ended up doing a lot of them.
Yeah.
A lot.
We built a really big business around
Yeah.
that, but it just kind of all goes back to answering your questions, like what are the things that I learned? It's reinvesting in myself. I'm really big on self-education.
Jenny said you have a giant stack of books at home. I know you're a big reader.
Yeah, I'm trying. I've said it in years past that I wanted to read a book a week, and like most New Year's resolutions, they don't last past February 1st. This year, I made it into March.
That's
I'm
amazing.
Still doing a book a week, and I've been trying to share those with other people, not in a dorky way, like, here, read my books that I'm making. But it's like, if I'm finding other people who have similar
Right.
interests, I'm like, hey, if I read this is what I got out of it. I go through and I like highlight things while I'm reading because it helps. That was awesome. Jenny, on Saturday night, 2 weeks ago, we're getting texts from people who are like, come out, come have drinks with us. And she sends a picture to the group message where Brandon's sitting there with a highlighter and a book. And I'm like, yeah, my husband's busy, like being a nerd.
My, how you've grown.
It's like, so I'm just really big on learning
Sure.
more.
Education,
I don't
being humble. Success leaves clues. I heard you basically say that, right? But it does. And look at what other people are doing. And we don't have to copy exactly, but figure out a way to do it on your own, right?
Yeah.
And then I know you always like the saying of the people that you surround yourself with, right? Like the
Yeah.
5 people that you spend the most time with is kind of who you become or who you are, right?
Yeah, I don't know. I wish I could credit the right person for this, but I've heard you are the socioeconomic average of the 5 people that you spend the most time with. And so if you want to improve your station in life, if you want to get better at something, if you want to be in a different league, then find ways to get yourself into that room. And if you're in a room and you feel like you're the smartest person in that room, and like you're in the wrong place,
Right.
Like I like the opportunities when I go somewhere. I'm like, man, I feel like a total imposter syndrome here because I don't belong. Like these people are all way more advanced than me. But that just means I got the cheat code. I'm the one who's learning all this stuff here. They're not learning
Right.
anything from me.
Yeah.
And I know sometimes people get intimidated by getting into those spots. I don't. I'm totally willing to admit when I don't know
That's
any
awesome.
clue what I'm doing.
Yeah.
But you can get yourself in the right spaces and surround yourself with great people. And
You've done a lot of that. You've done a lot of that, and you do it well. Like you just figure out ways to do it, which is great. Especially for being kind of an introvert. You're really
Yeah.
good at that.
I am good
job.
at forcing myself out.
That's good.
Yeah.
If you give me the option of, do you want to stand on stage in front of 500 people and talk about a topic, like you don't even have to tell me what the topic is. I would rather do that than if you're like, you sit at a dinner table with these 3 people you don't know and make small talk for an
Right.
hour. I'm like, no.
It's the small talk. I get it.
Can I submit a 3,000 word essay instead?
Yeah, right. All right, last question. Best advice you would give to an aspiring entrepreneur?
Boy.
Somebody that's trying to start their own thing.
You are capable of way more than you give yourself credit for. And I don't care who I'm talking to on that. I think we all have a lot of self-imposed limiting beliefs on what we can handle, how many hours we can put in. It's so obvious, but it's also so like important to remind yourself that it doesn't matter who you're comparing yourself to. They literally have exactly the same amount of time in a day as you. And
That's true.
If Elon Musk can open up all these different companies and run all these different things, but he doesn't have the advantage of time over you. That's the only thing that is the equalizer for all of us is how much time we have in a given day to put our work in, and yet we prioritize spending hours and hours on our phones or doing stuff that is just not productive. And yeah, I understand if you have a 9 to 5 or you have a 40-hour a week job and you need that to have the income coming in, but if you truly want to get out of that and start your own thing, then you have to, listen to the Gary V's of the world and like your nights and weekends, you need to be working well.
You're going to be grinding.
Or
You're going to be hustling.
And
Yeah.
there's no replacement for that hard
No.
work and that dedication.
I've always said it's like a math equation. I see it myself just in real estate. I back off a little bit every once in a while, take a vacation or whatever. The amount that I have going on is very consistent with that. As soon as I start picking it back up, then everything picks back up. There's no shortcut to it.
Amazing. When you work more, you do better.
I know, isn't it crazy? There's no shortcut to it unless you win the lottery.
I keep losing every time I try, which is not
My mom always says I have to play to win, so that's my problem. No, I love that. I think that's super great. Nick, do you have any other questions for Brandon?
I don't have anything right now. No.
No, anything right now.
Gonna ask me later. As soon as we turn this off, we'll ask you some more questions.
We'll get back to you.
Yeah.
Have anything else?
Kelly, you've been really, really successful.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
Let's see. All these agents in our MLS, like 2,500 agents, you consistently rank in like the top
1%. Yeah. Top 25.
5 people, 10 people for sales. What would you tell a new agent who's coming into our office saying, I need
Good question.
to make this work?
Yeah.
How am I going to do it?
I think the biggest thing, honestly, the first thing that comes to my mind is you've got to go all in. You have to. And even if, like you said, even if it means if you're an independent agent and you have to still work somewhere else for a while to bring in some income, then you still need to spend as much time doing this as you would if you were working this as your 9 to 5. Because I remember for years and years, I probably worked 60 to 70 hours every week, and I still work a lot. I don't work maybe as much because like you, I finally got help, but you got to go all in. You can't be like, well, maybe I'll try this real estate thing. It's not going to work then. It's hard work. I mean, it's making connections with people, and it's going out and it's showing houses and, and selling houses and things like that. But it's not the easiest thing in the world. There's a lot of real estate agents out there to get that business. So right from the beginning, you've got to establish yourself, have an online presence, get all those systems in place. I did all that stuff right away because I was like, we're going to get all that done first. And then start marketing the heck out of yourself and work, and you will be successful.
Absolutely.
Nick's like, yep.
Good addition.
No, I've
Agreed.
I've been seeing it, on your end, and yeah, like, from my role, I spend as much time as I can trying to like automate a lot of the stuff that we do on the back end, so that it's like we're investing our time more wisely. Mm-hmm. It's not, I don't ever free up any time, but it gives us more time to spend on the
Work
things that
smarter,
actually
not
make money.
harder.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I think that's the main thing, right, Brandon? And we talk about this a lot, is like where you are today, if somebody's meeting you today, or where I am today, that's not how we started. Not at all. Not one little bit. I also worked in my basement for a while. You remember those days. Worked in my basement. I had my first part-time assistant in my basement. So yeah, it's a big journey. You've been on it for 18 years. I've been on it for 11 years. But it's fun, and I don't regret it at all. I don't think I would ever redo it if I moved somewhere else. We've talked about that. I don't know that I would reinvent the whole system, but I'm very happy with where we are. Well, thank you so much for joining us. Again, you're like the legend. I feel like we're going to have at least 4 million views.
I was going to say 4 more followers.
Thank you so much for your time, though, Brandon, and your expertise.
Yeah.
We appreciate it.
Oh, and before we wrap up, this weekend is St. Patty's Day, which, of course, is our mother's birthday.
Yes, happy birthday, Mom. And have fun on St. Patrick's Day. Be responsible. That's mostly for Mom.
Thank you for listening to our podcast. To contact the Kelly Davies Homes team for all of your buying and selling needs, call 920-791-9047. Find us on Facebook at the Kelly Davies Homes team, or go to kellydavieshomes.com.
Bye.
Bye.
Bam.
Bam.
Bam!
Tori's cute.
She's just
Just a little you.
Thank you. That was fun.
There's your episode title.
Was that
Bam!
fun? Bam. Yeah. Yes. I think that should be the episode title. Bam. Isn't that fun? Just do that all day. Just talk to talk about,
people pay us
right?
$100,000 a
I
year to do that.
know, it's just not fair. Oh, is this the one? Oh, nope. Oh, that just unplugged something else.
All right, who's got more missed calls? Yeah, it's not me because my phone's still not working.
I got 19 texts.
Not bad, not bad.
They don't all seem important.
All right, well,